like, from my point of view, as I said, for me, there was a lot of self-doubt, like I wouldn't even try things, thinking that I might not be able to do it or I might not make it. So I think overcoming that and just going for it was a big thing for me. Like, apart from consulting roles, I also applied in quant roles. And having a biological and bioengineering background, I almost thought I might stand zero chances there. But while I kept preparing, I think I developed a bit, a good interest in it. And even though in the back of my mind, I used to think that why am I doing it when I don't think I stand a chance. So overcoming that heap of self doubt was the biggest challenge for me. And a sense of the feeling that.
This is Shruti Vats. I'm a final year undergraduate at IIT Kanpur. This is the next episode of Inside the Box series where we discuss about placements and beyond. Today we are pleased to welcome Priyal Bhandari. Priyal is biological science and bioengineering graduate from IIT Kanpur from 2021 batch. She's now working for one of the big four, PricewaterhouseCoopers, as an associate. She's a sports person, a graceful dancer, an advisor, a biotech engineer, and experienced student mentor. She has donned many hats and is here to share her multitasking secret. Uh, so, Priyal, are you running on a 2000 GB RAM?
Okay, first of all, hi Shruti. Excited to be part of this series. And I don't know, it feels weird to be, someone introducing me that way, but thank you.
Okay, so the first question that I wanted to ask is like, PwC is one of the campus dream jobs. Like, was it so for you as well, or it just happened like one of the things?
Yeah, it was definitely in my the list of companies that I aspired to join. And it was, as they say, it was a day one company, so definitely there was a hype around it. And I wasn't sure of making it there, but yeah, glad that I could.
Okay, so like is the dream justified now? Like after all the hard work, like how is it working like there?
Yeah, so it's been just 1 month since I joined the firm. So till now, definitely enjoying it. Workload hasn't been a lot. Uh, it keeps fluctuating. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But till now, yeah, very nice people over there, and even the interaction is good. So yeah, liking it over there till
Okay, so like if we delve a bit deeper into what kind of work or project you are doing, so if you can give a brief overview.
now. Right. So I am in the management consulting analytics profile. So mostly we have to use all the data analytics softwares to help with the client's problem. So as of now, it's not, my project is not client facing. So we just have to work on certain softwares, and it involves a bit of coding and a bit of strategic consulting. That's a mix of that.
Students could connect with it, that like how to get into PwC. Like I'm in seventh semester and I'm okay with Hapti and everything. I have few PORs. Now how to get in? Like what's the secret sauce? Like if there's one.
Sure. So I think, firstly, if someone's aspiring to join PwC, they must have interest in consulting and a bit of data science background. Apart from that, I think the first round of shortlisting is based on resume.
Okay.
So yeah, they definitely look at your overall profile, your PORs, your any interesting projects that you might have done, the extracurriculars, and to some sort the CPI as well. So yeah, I mean, a mix of a little bit in everything might be a good profile. Uh, Apart from that, you need to be good in solving case studies, and so my interview was a mix of case study questions. and some quick, kind of aptitude questions. So yeah, I think what they're looking for is someone who can, as I said, like my work is also a bit of data analytics and strategic consulting. So someone should be good in solving case studies and should have a bit of data science background. So I think apart from that, yeah, I think it's very unpredictable. If we knew the secret sauce, I think it surely would have told it to everyone. But yeah, it depends a lot on how your profile is. Some might like it, and the recruiters might like it, might not like it. But yeah, a significant interest in consulting and a bit of data science background, I think is a good chance. I think.
Okay. So you have done a lot of internships throughout the 4 years of your college. So what role did that play?
Yeah, so the initial internships that I did were mostly about exploring my interest in my branch, which is biological sciences and bioengineering. And that too involved a bit of problem solving and then implementation in the biomechanics field precisely. And then my internship in other companies like OYO, it was again a project associate role, and it was a bit of data science and implementing the solution that they had proposed. Yeah. So I think this kind of gave me a good judgment of what I like and what I don't like. So I figured out that continuing in the core field, like my department, was not an option for me because I didn't have a lot of interest in that. And OYO internship gave me a bit of an insight that problem solving and I don't know, like a bit of interest in data science. So something that I can pursue in future. So most importantly, it gave me a right judgment what I like and what I don't. And then later, I could also analyze what all skills I need to work upon and what all skills I'm good at. So all of that was really helpful during placement preparation then.
Okay. So what was your view before seeing your name in the list, and what was it like after the selection?
So if you ask my friends, they were like really annoyed with me because I used to crib a lot about how I'm not gonna even make it into any company, or it's like it would be not the company that I'm trying to join. So yeah, it was a lot of self-doubt involved during that process. But after I saw the name, it was a big feeling of relief, first of all, because you've been preparing for months and then finally it's there. And yeah, for a second it felt like, nice, good job done. So that kind of feeling.
Okay. So deviating a bit from the placements and career discussion, what is your fourth most favorite movie?
So, sorry, fourth most favorite movie?
Yes.
Okay. I think I can't really recall a lot of movies now that you asked me this question. But I recently saw this mystery drama movie, Gone Baby Gone. It's a detective movie. So I would say I liked it kind of. I have seen better movies than that, but it can come on the fourth position. Yeah, it was a good movie for anyone who enjoys suspense drama movies. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so getting back to the discussion about placements, what, according to you, is the most difficult stage of placements?
Okay. So if I talk about from my point of view, as I said, for me there was a lot of self-doubt. I wouldn't even try things, thinking that I might not be able to do it or I might not make it. So I think overcoming that and just going for it was a big thing for me. Apart from consulting roles, I also applied in quant roles. And having a biological and bioengineering background, I almost thought I might stand zero chances there. But while I kept preparing, I think I developed a bit, a good interest in it. And even though in the back of my mind, I used to think that why am I doing it when I don't think I stand a chance. So overcoming that heap of self-doubt was the biggest challenge for me. And a sense of the feeling that everyone else is so much better. So yeah, I think that was the biggest challenge for me. Apart from that, preparation-wise, there are many resources available, and seniors are always there to help you out. So in that direction, I didn't face a lot of challenge. I mean, I knew what path to follow, but sometimes there was lack of motivation because of the self-doubt.
So, like, how you overcame that self-doubt and lack of motivation and everything?
Right. So I think here again, talking to my friends, talking to my seniors really helped. I mean, they were like, just go for it. You don't have to think of the consequences now, because you start doing that, then it's going to affect your preparation, and then for sure you won't be able to make it. So at that time, just venting out and ranting to friends that this is happening or this is not working out. So that helped. I mean, not keeping it to myself and talking to people, and just try to not, focus on what others are doing, and instead just kind of built a schedule that, or an organized path that I just have to keep doing this, and we'll see what happens.
Like, why should anyone aspire for IITs?
A big question there. I mean, I've also thought about it a lot, and I don't think I have a objective answer to it. But it was the place which I think brought a big change in my personality, because the type of people you meet there, different type of people with different perspectives and all the activities, and I think the ownership that you get there, that students get to organize everything from scratch, and they get to have the responsibility. So I think that way I find a difference in IITs and other colleges from what I've heard from friends and what they tell me. Like, the exposure is a lot in IITs, but then also is the academic workload. So it kind of is a contradiction. Like, if you're not very much interested in what you're doing academically there, then all the other things, the exposure, the interactions and extracurriculars might not help you out after a point. To keep your interest going in IITs. So, I think many people, because it's the hype around IITs that these are the premium institutes, we go for it. And but it is definitely a place that I think for me brought a lot of change in my personality, the grooming part especially, because I had a lot of good exposure there, with people to talk to, activities to take part into, which I think might not have been the case in other colleges. So for me, I would say it was worth it. I think it can depend a lot from person to person.
Yeah. So, like, what was the best part of IIT Kanpur for you?
I think the best part would be me coming out of my shell and actually taking responsibilities, and taking out time to do what I like to do, and meeting people in the way. So I think I developed a lot of self-confidence throughout the journey. And like in my first year, I thought that I'd rather just stick to studies and acads, and extracurriculars were not in my mind that much. But while meeting new people and talking to so many seniors, it was a very good experience, in the sense that I think I have learned so much from building my self-confidence to learning new skills also there, and not just academically, but personality-wise too. And I think so, I would say the best part would be the people who encourage me to do that, and people around me. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, how did you balance your truckload of extracurricular and academia with a plethora of internships, like that too in very diverse domains, ranging from medtech to strategy consulting to product management? Like, how?
Yeah. I think most of the internships were a result of me not knowing what I want to do, and just me exploring the path that would be ideal for me to pursue a career in. And talking about the extracurriculars, I think it was, very honestly, it was better for my acads than the time when I was not doing any extracurricular, like in my first year, as I said. I mean, I was a part of the basketball team, but after even taking part in more activities and taking them some PORs, gave me a sense that this is the time that I have to work for the clubs or the societies that I was part of, and now this is the time that I have to study. So it kind of gave me a routine, taught me how to manage the work. Else, if it was only academics, I would be like, okay, I have the whole day to do that. I'll do it whenever I feel like. But when you're doing an activity or you're part of a society or a club, you don't get a lot of free time. That you can think that you'll do it whenever it works. Yeah. So I think that time management really helped me, and it taught me also a lot. I think, and internships, I think it was mostly, as I said, me exploring what I want to do, what I don't want to do, and just different profiles and centers.
Okay. So like throughout those 4 years, did you ever think of going for advanced studies in your branch, that is BSB?
As I said, my first 2 years, mostly I was kind of convinced that I am liking my department and I might go for higher studies there. But after gaining after the internships in that department and the lab work, I realized something, that it is not something I can do for my lifetime. Biological science and bioengineering is a department which requires further studying for sure. Like you have to do a PhD or an MSc in there, right? Generally, just BTech level knowledge isn't sufficient to continue in that branch. So that is what I think I realized, that initially I was liking the courses and I was liking the lab work also, but from like my internship in biomechanics field, which I told you about, I think that's what made me realize that this is not something that I can do in the long term. And after my OYO internship, I was pretty sure that non-core is the field for me. So yeah, it did take some time and some internships to explore that, but I think it was worth it. Yeah.
Okay. So what, according to you, like who are the people you would not suggest to sit for placements?
Okay. I mean, definitely those who know that they have to pursue higher studies or have to go for MBA or any other degree. If they have it clear in their mind, then I think it's okay if they don't sit in the placements. And many times I think because we see so many of our friends doing this, like sitting in the placements, going for a job, it's a safe option. Yeah. So some people might just go for it, seeing that other people are doing it. Yeah. But many of my friends, they converted their degrees to dual. That is, they took one more year in IT campus just to figure out what they want, and I think that's completely fine. So those who are still not sure if they want it, I think they can, take their time. They don't have to rush into placements just because everyone else is doing that. And yeah, I mean, it's literally just the first step. Like right after BTech, you're taking up a job, whatever job is given to you. So yeah, there is so much more to figure out. There's so much more to explore, and so yeah, I think it's fine if you want to take your time and you still don't know where your interest lies. So you don't have to sit in placements, but it's a safe option.
To give any advice for managing nervousness during the interviews for the ones who are sitting for the placements?
Right. I have been there. Like I get nervous very easily. Even for this interview, I'm nervous very honestly. So placement interviews are a big challenge for me because I'm not sure if it happens with a lot of people, but I start panicking very quickly. When I'm not able to answer anything or I go blank. So for that, I think definitely what helped was being good at what I'm going for, being well prepared. That definitely helped. Like in the interviews, you should know what they might be asking. And if they ask something, at least try to say something, whatever you know about the question or whatever topic they ask you about. So one thing, yeah, I made sure that I shouldn't just sit there blank, and that would not give a very good impression. Like when I get nervous, and I shouldn't blank out. I should at least keep trying, even from scratch, even if I'm wrong. Just keep trying to answer the question. And secondly, yeah, many times, and I've done this in interviews, that I just ask them for 2 minutes to, recollect my thoughts and calm down and then answer. So that is also completely fine. I think earlier I used to think that that might give a bad impression that you're asking, to pause your question for a bit. That's completely fine. So just take 2 minutes, and it is not a big deal, is what I realize now looking back, that so it will be all fine. Like there's just too many options there. So you should just take your time, recollect your thoughts, and yeah, then go for it. And as I said, even if you don't know the answer, just try it and say something. So they'll help you with the answer. Then the interviewers they generally give hints to help you with the answer.
Okay, so like, did you practice any mock interviews?
With my friends, yeah, like especially because I was preparing the case studies also for consulting firms. That is advised generally that you practice them with your friends or with seniors. So then we used to do a proper mock interview, like HR questions also and case study problems also. And yeah, so that also helped, that I knew what to say, what not to say. The introduction part, it also matters a lot, like when you're introducing yourself, or even those things where they ask you to ask them a question. So those tips from seniors really help, that you shouldn't just let it go that you don't have any questions for them. Do ask anything that you have, or even if you don't have, just research a bit about the company and ask them about their role in the company. So certain tips like that, they were told to me during these mock interview practices only, which really helped in the main interview.
Okay, so how was your real interview like?
Right. So I interviewed for, if you talk about maybe B1, like slot one. So it was around 4 interviews that I gave, like for 4 companies.
Okay.
And it was in the night. So our day one started like midnight at 12. And definitely I was very sleepy, nervous, and all mixed feelings were there. But interviews, so the first interviews were kind of funny because the interviewers, so we had it all online, and interviewers' audio was not working. So I actually gave a telephone interview then for that company. So that was something new. But so yeah, these are the kind of experiences I had. For some companies, it went fine. For some companies, I knew it right there that I kind of have lost the chance here, because I couldn't answer like 2-3 questions in a row.
Okay.
But if I talk specifically about PwC, I think it was pretty nice. Like, firstly, the interviewer made me really comfortable by, some ice-breaking questions, and just in general asking about myself. And the case study also, it wasn't that, they were like, it was very interactive. It was not just him asking question and me answering. It was like a conversation. So yeah, I think some interviews went really nice, but a few, I would say like 1 or 2 were where I could realize that I'm not doing well, and it's okay. I think it was a mix of good and bad interviews. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, what if someone gets rejected in the first 3 interviews in a row? Like, how would you have handled it?
It is definitely not a good feeling for sure. Like you're like, I mean, you lose all the motivation, I think, that you have to continue with the rest of the interviews. And I think, again, that feeling of self-doubt develops, that you're not prepared. Maybe that's why you're getting rejected, or you don't stand a chance only. So I think the hardest part would be to continue with the rest of the interviews, knowing that you've already been rejected in so many of the interviews.
Right.
So I think it is definitely tough, and it doesn't go away just like that. but you should know that, I mean, there is always a chance. It's not the end, as they say. Like there's so many options, especially if you're from a premium institute, you stand a good chance, and if you worked hard for it, definitely you will get a good option. So yeah, just trying to stay motivated at that time would be important, I think. And for that, you can talk to your parents or friends, whoever you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah, venting out also might help, but it is definitely not a good feeling. Yeah.
Right. Okay.